Pretty busy, and that's why I'm taking you out on the walk and talk vlog today. Today's vlog is one that got inspired by our YouTuber group last YouTube meeting. They were talking about having a vlog challenge for 30 days straight, every single day for a full 30 days. Here I am, a 68-year-old YouTuber. I already have 7 channels, and I keep very busy on one of the channels. Last thing I needed was another video to do every single day. Before I knew it, I found myself volunteering to do vlog. A video kind of diary every single day. What made me do that? I don't know. Well, actually I do. And that's the subject of today's vlog. Peer pressure. I got pressured into doing the vlog, and who did the pressure? Probably nobody other than myself. But it was because I was with my peer group and I didn't want anybody to think less of me. So I volunteered. So here we are on vlog, I think 25 or whatever. And we're talking about peer pressure today. Peer pressure is something that everybody gets subject to sometime in their life. Usually multiple times. Because here I am 68 and still succumbing to peer pressure. What is peer pressure? It's nothing more than feeling an obligation to your peers. And who are your peers? Peers are people that you share in a group that you can either share methodology, you could all have the same job, you could all be around the same age group. A lot of peer groups, it doesn't really matter what the ages are. For instance, our YouTuber group, we have people in their 60s all the way down to people in their 20s. That has peer pressure. With peer pressure, it doesn't have to be much. I mean, hazing is a form of peer pressure. Just volunteering is a form of peer pressure. Last one is a peer pressure. There's all sorts of forms of peer pressure. A key thing is knowing about peer pressure. Is it good? Is it bad? It all depends on what your peer group is. If you're hanging around with a bunch of people that do nothing but drugs, and does that mean you should be doing drugs? No, it doesn't mean you should be doing drugs. It means maybe you should be finding a different peer group is what that is. How susceptible are we to peer pressure? My grandson is going through a lot of peer pressure at his daycare. He's not even 2 years old and subject to peer pressure. Although peer pressure is a little bit more intense when you're that age. The girls, for some reason, when they want to get attention from him, are biting him on the face. Now, that is an intense form of peer pressure, one of which I hope that we can get rectified in the near future. For teens and that age group, you have both the social peer pressure, the peer pressure to date, and peer pressure to do drugs. The majority is doing it, so maybe you should be out on a date. The majority is doing it, so maybe you should go out and do drugs. This is where it helps to have a strong foundation, cultural values instilled in you as a child, hopefully from your parents, hopefully from what you're reading. One of the people that I started following was Hiram Smith. Although that was in my 20s, he is really specialized in time management. And how can you be a good time manager? Well, it helps if you have good values to start with. Now, peer pressure in adulthood can take many forms. For example, when I was a young ensign in the military and advancing to being a JG, we had, not really hazing, but hazing. As far as getting your next set of bars, we had to do what they call drink your bars. You didn't have to do it, but they jokingly said that you would not get your advancement if you didn't do it. And what it involved was they would get an empty pitcher that usually holds beer, and then everyone in the wardroom would buy any drink that they want and dump it into the empty pitcher so that you'd end up with a full pitcher, usually with mixed drinks in it. And they definitely were all different types of drinks. And then you would have to chug-a-lug-chug. Drink it until you got to the bars. And you better catch them in your teeth, otherwise you're going to be going to the hospital. That's a form of peer pressure in adult. Another form of peer pressure, examples of adult peer pressure, are different groups. You might be joining the Knights of Columbus or Kiwanis or multiple other organizations that benefit the society as a whole. Now, there's a lot of peer pressure to one join and once in to assimilate into the group because everybody else is donating their time and their money. So why don't you? If you get divorced as an adult, a lot of times everyone will be trying to pressure you into dating, one, and into getting married again, especially you're married. Now, what have I learned from being in this vlog challenge? One of the things that I learned is that even though you think that you're busy, you probably can add more to your schedule. And that is what I've done, is added more. It's gotten me out more. I'm not in my house all the time working on videos. It is beneficial to stretch your limits. A lot of times taking on additional responsibility through peer pressure is a good thing, especially if you have a good peer group. There's all sorts of good peer groups. For example, and it's kind of like a running joke, people talk about Amway and they, poo-poo that. But I don't know of one person that has been in that organization that doesn't say that it was a good experience. It doesn't matter how you dealt with it while you were in, or even if you're still in, but to be out there and to be mingling and being in a peer group and making money, that's a strong incentive to survive. That's part of what peer pressure is it is how to survive in the group. Do you succumb to the peer pressure from the group, or do you just stay an outsider within the group? What we have learned from the challenge and also about peer pressure is that peer pressure can be both good and bad at all ages, and it is not that bad to succumb to peer pressure if it's something that helps get you further along in life.